Yeah.
Hello, Tammie Lynn. We're here with your first hive update. Um, the last time we were here, we checked your hive over and it wasn't doing so well. So what we ended up doing was replacing the queen. So even though this hive looks really small, one of the things we look for when we're doing a hive inspection is how well the queen is laying. And even though that this is a new queen, you can tell that she's doing really well because you can see this is what we call the brood pattern. Under every one of these caps here is a young baby bee that is developing, and she doesn't have a whole lot of cells. In fact, it used to be that you'd want a tight pattern all the way through, but the queens that we got are they have a gene that's called varroa sensitive hygiene, and they can smell the varroa mites that are breeding inside the cells because that's where they go in. They'll go in when they cap and then breed in there. So if the bees smell a mite in there, they'll pull those out.
So basically all those open cells that Josh was showing you are brood that the bees pulled out because they could tell a
right.
varroa mite had crawled in with the larva. So they pulled it out before the varroa could hatch and then
And
have more varroa mites.
one of the other things is that if you can look in the bottom, I don't know if Jody can get, but there's a new baby bee that is developing in there right away too. So they possibly pulled out infected cell. And oh, you're gonna piss me off.
Oh, sorry that I got a big fuzzy black microphone and they don't like that stuff. I just bumped onto the frame.
So there's a young baby bee developing in that one again already. So that's a good sign. This hive is kind of weak, but when we checked it the last time, the original queen Tammie Lynn was terrible. She was not building up like she should have. We were going to try to make splits the last time we were here, but we ended up replacing a lot of queens. So right here is Queen Tammie Lynn. She just got marked. This is a queen catcher and marker. So what we do is we put a little dot of paint. That way when you can imagine, sorry, I'm supposed to hold still. When this hive really builds up, there'll be around 60,000 bees, and trying to find one single bee out of 60,000 gets to be kind of hard. So we put a mark on her. That way we can find her again easier. Paint should be dry. I'm going to let her out. You can see her. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just put her on the frame again, then you can see her walk around a little bit. So right there's Queen Tammie Lynn, and you'll see the bees come around her. They're probably going to sniff her a little bit because she's got that paint on her, and that they'll wonder what happened to her. But she doesn't seem to be too phased. It looks like she's going to get right back to work, which is a good sign of a queen too. That they just keep laying eggs right one after another. A queen this time of the year is going to lay somewhere around 1,500 eggs a day. She's going to be a little bit slower because this hive is a little bit weaker and they won't lay more eggs than what they can take care of.
Right, a lot of resources go into new bees, a lot of honey and a lot of pollen.
So they'll build up a little bit slower, but since she's doing so good, they should take off shortly here. So here's another frame of capped brood there's young bees around it. That's another sign that we look for if, especially after the first ones hatch, the queen will start in the middle and lay eggs and just keep going around and around, like throughout the few days. And then those bees will develop in the middle because they're the oldest, and then you'll start seeing these concentric circles of bees and brood throughout the whole hive. That's a sign of a good queen. You want to see that. So I think she'll have that going on here. If she continues doing this well, probably next time we get up here and do your next hive update, she'll probably be all the way, have the bottom box almost all the way full.
Yeah, so, yeah. When you get a package, they're making a lot of splits and they need to make a lot of queens, and they're not always the most high quality queen. And this year we found, I'm not sure if it was bad weather in Georgia or what, but we found a larger proportion of
queens
subpar queens.
Yeah, we only ended up with maybe 3 really good queens, and the rest of them were Some of them were okay. Some of them really needed to be replaced. And the first Queen Tammie Lynn needed to be replaced. There's no doubt about that.
So the new queen is, her genetics come from Saskatchewan, and she's bred to be, like Josh said, Varroa hygienic, and also they're supposed to be able to overwinter better, right,
better.
Josh?
Yep. So that was one of the things that we tried to make improvements this year. One of them was to incorporate a little bit more winter hardy stock into our bees. Actually, tomorrow they're sending, I got 2 more queens coming from another place that by the end of the year, hopefully we'll have all brand new queens that are winter hardy and can survive the cold Michigan winters. So I guess with that, hopefully next time we'll see a whole bottom box full of bees. You can see how fast they grow. Typically this time of the year, if we have a good queen, they should have not only the bottom box full, but almost the whole top box full of bees too. So this one's going to take a little bit longer, but they still have plenty of time to get built up and looking good. So hope you enjoy the hive updates, and we'll see you the next time around.